Not Flavor High, friends. Darth Momo here. It is Saturday, so Last Jedi has been out for a day and a half, roughly. And now that I've seen the movie twice, I'd like to do my full in-length review on it. So, allow me to start out with the fact that after I first saw this movie, me and all four of my companions, we had very, very mixed feelings about this film. And if you saw my initial no spoiler review or my friends on Lance 007 and Nuclear Films, if you saw their review, you could tell that we all were very conflicted about this film. And that was Thursday night. All day Friday, so yesterday, I was still processing and trying to think about this film, take it all in. There were so many issues I had with it, so many things I did not like about it. And everyone else was saying, oh, it was good, I loved it, and I was like, are you for real? And I even went on record saying The Force Awakens was better, which I am still holding that. But now that I've saw the film a second time, I was able to kind of rethink some things and kind of put an end to my confliction. I'm kind of settled on the film. Do I like it? Yeah. Do I still have hope for the sequel trilogy? Yeah. But am I as excited to see Episode 9 now as I was to see 8 after I saw Force Awakens? No. And I guess we'll just see with where they take the franchise from now. It's been it left off on a really, ambiguous ending. So, yes, there will be absolute spoilers. So please, turn back now if you have not seen this film. With that being said, allow me to get to the biggest thing. Luke Skywalker dies. Yeah, that feels a little weird to say. I have mixed feelings about it, but let's kind of go in order. Let's start with the plot. The plot kind of felt like a Rebels or a Clone Wars episode. Not that it was bad plot, but it felt like more a plot of an episode of a television series versus a full-length film. On the run from the bad guys, the Resistance dispatches Finn and Rose to go get a code breaker or a code slicer to break in the Snoke ship and turn off the tracking device so the Rebels can escape, or the Resistance can escape. That felt, if you changed out Finn and Rose and said Ezra and Kanan, and changed Resistance and First Order with Rebels and Empire, yeah, I would definitely feel like a Rebels episode. However, it was okay. The pacing of this film, it was kind of slower. It was a bit faster than Rogue One, but not as fast-paced as, say, Force Awakens or Empire Strikes Back. Let's talk about some of my disappointments, because those are what I'm very vocal about. Snoke dies. Yeah, in a scene where I thought it was just going to be Return of the Jedi all over again, Kylo Ren kills him. And it wasn't like a duel where Kylo Ren got the best of him. No, it was like Snoke was blabbing and Kylo Ren killed him. That was so disappointing. I literally went, what? Because Snoke was talked up to be this big, powerful man, powerful than Vader and the Emperor combined. The books were kind of seeming to lead towards Snoke. And so that was kind of disappointing. Mostly because outside sources have been talking him up. Not sure if I would have been as disappointed if Snoke had still died and I hadn't heard all this outside talk of. Phasma. That was definitely bad on this film. Terrible. Even if, the outside sources, everyone kind of admitted, yeah, we screwed up with Phasma. We're going to fix that in the next 2 movies, and she's going to have this whole arc throughout the trilogy. Then they released a comic in lead up to The Last Jedi about her in between Force Awakens and Last Jedi. And we got a huge novel filled with her backstory. And the trailers made it look like she was going to be a rather important part of this film. But nope, she shows up an hour and 45 minutes into the movie, and she dies 5 minutes later. Yeah, that was so disappointing. Even if there wasn't all this outside hype up, that was still very disappointing. Akbar died. Yeah, that was kind of like a what? And it was just like blink of an eye. Like, I wouldn't have even known if they hadn't said Admiral Akbar died. And which leads to another part, the Leia in space. That was really weird. Not that I necessarily have a problem with the idea of them doing it. We saw Kanan do that something similar in Star Wars Rebels. But it was the fact that she kind of sat out there for a few minutes and then was like, oh, yep, I'm still alive, dog. If it had been like as soon as she was sucked out and she used the Force to do that, I would have been more okay with it. And my other, well, there's a few other, but my big, huge disappointment, one that really pissed me off, that I'm not sure if I can still live with or not. Finn, at the end, I felt very, very cheated because he was about to die, and it was like they continued on with the fact that they were giving him his heroic, honorable death. And right at the very, very last second, as we're embracing ourselves for Finn to die, Rose pushes him out of the way. Boy, I'm still very upset about that, and I'm not sure if that's probably the one thing I will never truly get over. Because of how they shot that scene. If it was like, oh, I'm going to do this, and as he's getting ready, then Rose pushes him out, that would have been different. But they didn't. He got so... they continued on to make us think that he was going to die. And then freaking Rose. Oh. What else do I have? The comedy. The comedy. Oh, it was terrible. With the beginning scene, Hux and Poe, that was dumb. That was so dumb. And then Luke, music build up. Force Awakens gave us this dramatic ending that Last Jedi just kind of took. He grabbed the lightsaber, the music stopped, and he chucked it. I waited 2 years for that. Oh my. Rey's parents, they felt it was just revealed to be nobody. It was stupid. I mean, I will admit there was a lot of tension, but then it was like, oh, you're nobody. You're very powerful, by the way, but you're a nobody. No, it would have been, and I understand where they're trying to make, like, greatness can come from nobody. And that was the beauty of Star Wars. We had Padme Amidala come from nobody, and she was she was kind of a side, she was still a side character, but she was very powerful. Han Solo, Finn and Poe. But when you have the main character of what's been described as the Skywalker saga by the Lucasfilm officials be a nobody, then we're going to have some issues. The ending. I was very confused by the ending. We had some random kid in the Force theme and watching the Falcon go into hyperspace. And I truly thought it was going to end with the Falcon and the fade to white, and it didn't. So, very confused. I think I kind of understand it, but don't at the same time. My other kind of negative thing, Leia. They had an opportunity to kill her off twice, and they didn't. I think the real reason why was so they could have the reunion between her and between her and Luke. So I understand that, but it all depends, I guess, on how 9 handles it. That's all my bad stuff. My good stuff, though. There was a lot of good stuff. Yoda. That was awesome. Yeah. The puppet looks kind of like a mix between Empire and Jedi. So that was awesome seeing him. The Praetorian Guard fight, that was really cool. It was original. Yes, it was original. It was nothing like The Empire Strikes Back. The characterization. I'm sorry, Rogue One, but Last Jedi beats you out because I felt like Paige Tico, the bomber that had 5 minutes on screen, was far more characterized than someone like Baze Malbus. DJ, he was a really cool character. I liked it with the kind of stutter, but then he had kind of that... he felt like the kind of average computer hacker. Like, he's not really too social, but he's got the skills, man. So that was really cool. The acting. That acting was phenomenal. Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, and Adam Driver stole any scene they had. That was easily my favorite parts of the film. Anything to do with Kylo Ren, Luke, or Rey. The fight scene with Luke and Kylo was awesome. Yes. I mean, I know we technically don't really have a lightsaber fight in this film, but all the fights that we had together, I'll count them. The Praetorian Guard, the face-off with Luke and Kylo, and Luke versus Rey with the stick. I'll count those as fights because those were awesome. Luke was... I was kind of worried when Mark Hamill said, oh, I don't really like how they took Luke Skywalker in this film. Certain parts I can understand, such as how he just chucks the lightsaber. But how he was a broken man. I loved the characterization of Luke. It felt right. Especially with the flashback scenes, which, thank you, they incorporated the green lightsaber somehow. That made me extremely happy. And the Han stuff, at the beginning he's like, the Falcon, where's Han? I got so sad. I was like, oh. And then the second time when I had seen, the first time I was still teared up when he's like, nothing is truly gone, and he gives Leia Han's dice and cue the Han and Princess music. But the second time I saw it, I actually teared up. It was truly an emotional thing. And Kylo and Rey, the whole force projection thing, which kind of leads into Luke's death, foreshadow, which I did not catch the first time around, but I did the second time. It was awesome. A new take on kind of the force and abilities, which we did see in Star Wars Rebels, which was pointed out to me at a review I had seen the other day with Darth Maul and Ezra in Season 3. But that was still kind of cool. And I guess, in a way, Luke and Vader did it in Episode 5. That's kind of my positives right there. My kind of in-betweens, the music. While I love all the usages of the Force theme, there wasn't a whole lot of original music from what I could hear. The opening scene. I don't know, from the opening, I felt something was going to be off, and something was kind of off. It's hard to explain. I still have some mixed feelings about it, but I'm not in constant confliction. The Porgs. The Porgs were okay. The random shots of the island where you would hear the that kind of was like, really? So, all in all, in Luke's death, here's something funny. Wikipedia, and I'll put a picture of it at the end. I'll do it now. Wikipedia, it got removed, but it said for Luke Skywalker, cause of death, bad writing. Here's the picture. That was actually really funny. It got removed, but I've got the screenshot, so here, Darth Momo has the evidence. Anyway, that's really what I give it. I would say it's probably the 4th best Star Wars film. I still think Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, and Force Awakens in that order were better than Last Jedi, but I think it beats out everything else. I don't think the prequels, the Clone Wars film, and Return of the Jedi need any explanation as to why Last Jedi is better. As for Rogue One, I think Last Jedi was just a bit higher paced, or a bit faster paced. It also felt like there was some better characterization. And just the training stuff with Rey and Luke was really cool. And I feel like some of the stuff could have been cut, but I think the timing on the movie was all right. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining in. Darth Momo out. I will be doing my kind of recap review, like I did with all the other films, once the movie is out on Blu-ray. So stay tuned for that. We'll have Rebels coming up in a month or two, and the final season of my Lego Rebel Life. So stay tuned to the channel, and may the Force be with you. Always. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, comment down below and hit that like button. Oh, and check out some of my other videos. I'm sure you'll find them a delight.